Ever felt like you're surrounded by idiots? Like people just don't understand you? They communicate differently, make decisions slower than you'd like, or move faster than you're comfortable with? Well, here's the truth. Nobody wants to hear. You're probably one of the idiots too. Welcome to today's video, where we're breaking down Surrounded by Idiots by Thomas Erikson, a behavioral science book that will completely change how you view the people around you. Instead of thinking others are broken, you'll learn that they're simply different. And in the next 20 minutes, we're going through every chapter of this book so you can understand why people do what they do. If you're looking to improve your relationships, work better with your team, or just stop getting frustrated with people who think differently than you, stick around because this video is a game changer. Before we dive in, if you're into personal development and book summaries, don't forget to subscribe. We release videos like this every week. Now, let's get into it. Chapter 1. Communication happens on the listener's terms. The first chapter sets up the entire book with one crucial principle. Communication doesn't happen based on what you say. It happens based on what the listener hears and how they interpret it. Think about it. You explain something clearly in your mind, but the other person hears something completely different. Why? Because everything they hear is filtered through their own frames of reference, their past experiences, biases, what they already believe to be true, preconceived ideas, assumptions they've already made. For example, if your boss says, "We need to discuss your performance," a results-oriented person might think, "Great, let's talk about what I've accomplished." Meanwhile, a detail-oriented person might immediately worry, "Did I make a mistake?" Same message, completely different interpretations. This is why the entire book emphasizes one theme. To communicate effectively, you need to understand the other person's perspective, not expect them to understand yours. Your job as a communicator isn't to be clear, it's to be understood by them. Chapter 2. Why are we the way we are? Chapter 2 dives into what makes us tick. According to Erikson, our behavior is shaped by multiple layers, like an onion. Layer 1, core values. At the center are your core values, the deeply embedded beliefs about what's right and wrong, usually shaped by your parents and childhood experiences. These are almost impossible to change. Layer 2, attitudes and approaches. Around that are your attitudes and approaches, the opinions you formed based on your own life experiences. These are somewhat flexible, but still pretty stable. Layer 3, core behavior. These two layers create your core behavior, how you naturally act when there's no external pressure or social expectations. Layer 4, moderated behavior. But here's the thing. People rarely see your core behavior. Instead, they see your moderated behavior, how you adapt based on the situation and the people around you. You wear different masks for different audiences. Layer 5, environment. All of this is influenced by your external environment, your job, your family, your culture, and the people around you. The key insight: people are complex. We're not just one thing. We adapt, we change, and we're influenced by circumstances. But underneath all that adaptation, there's a core behavioral preference that shapes how we think, act, and communicate. And that's what the rest of the book is all about. Chapter 3. An introduction to the system. Now, we get to the heart of the book, the 4-color system. This is based on something called the DISC model: dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. Erikson renamed these as red, yellow, green, and blue to make them easier to remember. Here's the basic grid. Imagine a simple graph with two axes: vertical axis, task-oriented versus people-oriented; horizontal axis, fast-paced versus slow-paced. This creates 4 quadrants, each representing one color. The 4 colors: red equals task-oriented, fast-paced, dominant, decisive, results-focused; yellow equals people-oriented, fast-paced, social, enthusiastic, creative; green People-oriented, slow-paced, calm, loyal, supportive. Blue. Task-oriented, slow-paced, analytical, detail-oriented, perfectionistic. Now here's the important part. Roughly 5% of people have just one dominant color, but about 80% of people have two dominant colors and 15% have three. So most of us are combinations. These aren't personality types, they're behavior patterns. Think of them like a toolbox. All tools are useful, it just depends on the job. The same quality can be a strength in one situation and a weakness in another. Throughout the rest of this chapter, Erikson emphasizes that the point isn't to label people or put them in boxes. It's to understand why they do what they do so you can communicate with them more effectively. Chapter 4. Red Behavior, the Alpha. Who are the Reds? Red personalities are driven, ambitious, decisive, and dynamic. They're natural leaders who bring energy and momentum to everything they do. Reds are strengths, extremely competitive and goal-oriented, work hard and constantly challenge themselves, task-focused and always on the go, straightforward communicators who state their views directly, great at making quick decisions, results-oriented and efficiency-driven. How to recognize a Red? They're often in leadership positions. They talk fast and interrupt frequently. They get impatient with people who move slower. They're always looking at the bigger picture and the end goal. They hate wasting time on unnecessary details. Weaknesses, when overdone, can appear aggressive, impatient, or domineering. May bulldoze over team members to get things done. Leave people behind in their pursuit of results. Can seem controlling or confrontational. Often dismiss others' concerns as obstacles. How to work with Reds? If you're dealing with a Red personality, here's what Erikson recommends. Be direct. Don't waste their time with unnecessary details. Get to the point. Focus on results. Show them how your idea leads to concrete outcomes. Respect their authority. Don't challenge them publicly or undermine their decisions. Give them space. They don't need constant feedback. They want to run with ideas. Keep it fast. Slow-paced meetings and detailed discussions frustrate them. Real life. Example, your Red boss says, "We need to cut costs by 20%. They want a solution, not a 30-minute presentation on why it's difficult. They want options, a recommendation, and the implementation timeline. Fast, clear, done. The core principle with Reds: respect their time, respect their goals, and get out of their way while they achieve them. Chapter 5. Yellow Behavior, the Enthusiast. Who are the Yellows? Yellow personalities are the social butterflies of the world. They're positive, creative, and sociable. Yellows are strengths, outgoing, popular, with huge social networks full of vitality, fun, and laughter. Optimistic, resourceful, and inspiring. Most animated and expressive communicators. Great at networking and making people feel welcome, can infect others with their positive energy. Creative problem solvers. How to recognize a yellow? They're the ones doing most of the talking. They have friends everywhere. They're full of ideas and enthusiasm. Meetings come alive when they enter the room. They remember people's names and personal stories. Weaknesses, when overdone, can be impulsive and make decisions without thinking. Attention-seeking and overly talkative. Terrible listeners, they dominate conversations. Bad at follow-through and organization. Miss deadlines and appointments, can be unrealistic with their optimism. Resist rules and structure. How to work with yellows? If you're dealing with a yellow personality, make it social. Frame things in terms of people and relationships, not just tasks. Appreciate their ideas. They want recognition and acknowledgement. Give them variety. They get bored quickly with repetitive tasks. Be enthusiastic. Match their energy. They feed off positive vibes. Provide clear deadlines. They need structure. even if they resist it. Let them talk. Sometimes you just need to let them express themselves. Real life. Example. Your yellow colleague suggests a wild marketing campaign that's creative but risky. Instead of shutting them down, acknowledge the creativity, ask them how they'd execute it, and then help them think through the details they've overlooked. The core principle with yellows: they need recognition, social connection, and an environment where their creativity and enthusiasm are valued. Chapter 6. Green Behavior. The Stabilizer. Who are the greens? Green personalities are the calm, steady, loyal workers who prefer predictability and harmony. Greens are strengths: patient, reliable, and dependable. Great team players who support others. Loyal and committed to their work and relationships. Prefer a calm, predictable environment. Move at a leisurely pace without rushing. Shy away from spotlight but excellent in support roles. Excellent listeners who value others' input. How to recognize a green? They rarely raise their hand first. They prefer working behind the scenes. They get along with everyone. They're consistent and reliable. Conflict makes them visibly uncomfortable. Weaknesses, when overdone, can appear stubborn or inflexible, resistant to change even when necessary. Seem indifferent or detached from urgent matters. Avoid conflict so much they hide their true opinions. Can be dishonest by omission. They'll just say nothing rather than disagree. Slow to make decisions, may hold grudges privately instead of addressing issues directly. How to work with greens? If you're dealing with a green personality, provide stability, avoid sudden, unexplained changes, give them time to adapt. Ask for their input. They have opinions but won't volunteer them. You need to ask. Be patient. Don't rush them to make decisions. They need time to process. Appreciate their loyalty. Recognize the work they do, even if it's behind the scenes. Don't create conflict. Approach issues privately and gently. Allow adjustment time. When change is necessary, prepare them well in advance. Real-life example. You need a green team member to take on a new responsibility. Don't just assign it, explain why, give them time to prepare, and let them know you support them. They'll be your most reliable person once they feel secure. The core principle with greens: they need security, stability, and the assurance that they're valued even if they're not in the spotlight. Chapter 7. Blue Behavior. The Perfectionist. Who are the blues? Blue personalities are detail-oriented, analytical perfectionists who want the right answers to everything. Blues are strengths: detail-oriented and meticulous, analytical and systematic thinkers, perfectionists who value accuracy and quality, thorough in their research and decision-making, excellent at spotting problems and risks, organized and precise. Think before they speak, so when they say something, it matters. How to recognize a blue? They use spreadsheets and complex analysis tools. They check things multiple times. They ask lots of questions before committing. They're quiet, but when they speak, people listen. They point out risks and potential problems. They need contingency plans before moving forward. Weaknesses, when overdone, can be distant, pessimistic, and overly critical. Appear cold and emotional detached. Slow to reach decisions due to overanalysis. Can get paralyzed by perfectionism. Always asking for evidence and pointing out what could go wrong. Can be tedious to work with. Struggle with good enough. They want perfect. How to work with blues? If you're dealing with a blue personality, be accurate. Don't exaggerate or oversimplify. Blues will call you out. Provide details. Give them data, evidence, and thorough explanations. Show your work. Explain your reasoning and methodology. Give them time. Don't pressure them for quick decisions. They need to analyze. Respect their expertise. They usually know more than they let on. Be prepared for questions. They will ask detailed questions. Have answers ready. Real-life example. When presenting an idea to a blue, come prepared with data, potential pitfalls, contingency plans, and answers to tough questions. They're not being difficult, they're ensuring everything is perfect before moving forward. The core principle with blues: they need accuracy, completeness, and the assurance that decisions are well thought out and backed by evidence. Chapter 8: Strengths and Weaknesses. No one is completely perfect. The balance. Chapter 8 brings everything together with one key message: no color is better than the others. Every strength is also a potential weakness. For example, red's decisiveness can become recklessness. Yellow's optimism can become unrealistic. Green's loyalty can become inflexibility. Blue's precision can become paralysis. It all depends on context and how extreme the trait becomes. Moreover, the same trait can be a strength or weakness depending on the situation. A red's aggressive pursuit of results is great when you need quick action, but terrible when you need to build relationships. The book emphasizes that diversity is essential. A team of all reds will steamroll over people. A team of all yellows will never finish anything. All greens will resist necessary change. All blues will take forever to make decisions. The healthiest teams and relationships include a mix of colors because different situations require different approaches. Chapters 9 to 12: Application and Adaptation. Practical Skills. Chapters 9 to 12 focus on practical application. Here are the key takeaways. Chapter 9: Learning new things. Use what you've learned by actually practicing these skills. Observe people around you. Try to identify their colors. Adapt your communication. It becomes easier the more you do it. Chapter 10: Body Language. Your body language reveals your color type. Reds move fast and take up space. Yellows are animated and expressive. Greens are still and measured. Blues are controlled and precise. By watching how people move, you can identify their colors even without talking to them. Chapter 11: The Company Party. Example: Erikson uses a company party as a real-world example, showing how all four colors behave in the same situation. The red boss is intense but leaves early feeling stressed. The yellow employees are everywhere, talking, energizing the room. The green employees help in the background. The blue employees observe carefully and probably leave early, overwhelmed by noise and chaos. Same event, four completely different experiences. Chapter 12: Adaptation. The core skill is learning to adapt. It doesn't mean changing who you are, it means adjusting your communication style to reach others. A red learning to slow down for a green isn't being fake, they're being respectful. A yellow learning to listen to a blue isn't being inauthentic, they're being considerate. The goal is to move from judgment to curiosity. Instead of thinking, "Why are they so slow?" ask, "What's their perspective on this?" That shift changes everything. So here's what we've learned from Surrounded by Idiots. The big picture: people aren't idiots, they're just different. When someone doesn't understand you or behaves unexpectedly, it's usually because you're speaking their language differently than they need to hear it. The four colors. Reds are results-oriented and fast. Give them space and clear goals. Yellows are people-oriented and enthusiastic. Give them recognition and variety. Greens are stable and loyal. Give them security and time. Blues are analytical and precise. Give them data and accuracy. Communication happens on the listener's terms, not the speaker's. Your job is to understand how others receive information and adapt accordingly. Start observing people around you. Identify their colors. Adjust your communication. The more you practice, the better you become at it. This one skill, learning to communicate with different types of people, will transform your relationships, your workplace, and your life. The idiots who surround you aren't idiots at all. They're individuals worthy of respect, understanding, and being valued. And once you understand why they do what they do, you'll realize that maybe you're their idiot too, and that's perfectly okay. If this video helped you, please like it and subscribe for more book summaries and personal development content. Drop a comment below. Which color do you think you are? Which one do you find most challenging to work with? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.